Some community members have asked me to do a video showing them how they can actually claim the crowdloan tokens. So basically, if you are contributing using your Kusama to a crowdloan or using your Polkadot to a crowdloan, and you're due to receive tokens from that specific parachain that you've helped contribute to because they won the parachain auction, how can you actually get them, right? That's the big question on everyone's mind who's a beginner, at least, right? People that have been in this for a while, they already know, right? Now, the first thing you need to know is that sometimes the team distributes the tokens directly to your wallet. So you would see them in this wallet here. So assuming that you contributed using the Polkadot web wallet and you had the Polkadot.js extension installed, which is this one here, assuming you had all that and you contributed your Kusama through the wallet, through here, or through the website, whatever, but let's say you used your wallet, then sometimes you can receive the tokens directly, right? But the teams would normally tell you if they do that. Now, sometimes you need to claim the tokens. For example, in the case of Altair here, it actually shows you here on their Twitter page. And this is why it's important to follow every team that you contribute to on Twitter, because on Twitter, they normally announce when you can claim the rewards, should you be able to claim them, right? Sometimes they just send them directly to your wallet, but sometimes you need to manually claim them. So in this case, with Altair, you need to go to the link that they give you on the Twitter page here and basically follow the steps within this link. And then in there, you would have to claim, sign the transaction. And then once you've done that, you would see the tokens in your wallet. But the next step is still not over, right? The next step, you would receive the tokens, but you would only receive, say, a certain percentage of the tokens, or maybe all the tokens, but they would be locked, right? And some of them would be unlocked. So now the question comes, how can you unlock the rest of the tokens, right? So the way to do that, and this does differ from parachain to parachain, okay? So in the case of Altair, what you can do, right, I can't see this with this wallet. This is a test account. I have not contributed using this test account. But if you would have contributed to the crowdloan, you click the three dots next to the send button. And then over here, you would have an option called claim vested tokens. So when you would click on that and then put in your password and sign the transaction, then you would actually be able to claim your vested tokens, like a certain percentage of your vested tokens, not all of them, because remember, they're vested for the full duration of the parachain lease, which is 11 months in the case of Kusama, right? So you would get a certain percentage, which would be the percentage between the time that the parachain auction was won up until the point that they enable token transfers. Okay, so it's that period of time that you can qualify for. Because it's obviously each passing block that passes generates you more of your tokens. It basically unlocks more of your tokens. That's the idea of it, and that's how it works. Now, I've already mentioned that sometimes you can click on the three dots, press the unlock vested amount, and then assign the transaction. But sometimes you need to do something else. Like, for example, go to developer, go to extrinsics. You have to select your account, and then on the left hand side you have to look for the vesting option, and then as the next option here that you have to select would be vest. You see it says here vest, unlock any vested funds of the sender account. So here you would choose this option, and then you would click submit transaction. You would enter your password, you would click submit or sign, and then that's it, right? And then you would actually see the balance over here in the free balance. So this is applicable to some parachains, not all of the parachains. Okay, so for example, with Bifrost, or with Calamari, I should say, with Calamari, this is a great example of where you actually need to do that, right? With Calamari, if you go to switch here, let me switch here. So with Calamari, you need to do that, right? But notice how with Calamari it looks different. So there's no vesting here. It's actually called something else. It's called Calamari vesting. Okay, so they have changed the name a little bit, but over here you can see it's still called vest. So it's Calamari vesting, vest, and then you have to submit the transaction. And this actually gets distributed to you once every 8 weeks. Okay, so there's actually a calendar where they show you when you can claim your balance. So once that date passes, then you can do this. Go to Calamari vesting, vest, submit the transaction, and sign it. Now, in the case of Bifrost, it doesn't apply. In the case of Bifrost, you can claim with after each passing block. Now, it doesn't make sense to do that, but you can, right? You go to accounts here and you click the three dots and you click unlock vested amount, you sign the transaction, and that's it. That's how you do it with Bifrost, right? In the case of Kintsugi, exactly the same. Now, Kintsugi did have an issue in the past where you weren't able to see your account balance here, but now you can, right? Now we can see we've got Kent here. Okay, this was completely blanked out. You couldn't see anything here, so you had to go to developer, extrinsics, etc. to be able to claim, right? But now we can do it from here. Now you've got the 3 dots and you can claim from there. Okay, so it's pretty cool. And yeah, this is how it works. And even when you can't see them, right? When you can't see them, so basically what the teams try to do is they try to integrate that option to be able to claim them from here to make it easy for you if you're non-techie. But if they don't have the option here, then this option always works. Okay, so extrinsics, like I said to you, look for vesting here. And then claim. Look, this one actually has claim, which is different. Okay, this is different. So this is how you can do it in the case of Kintsugi. Okay, this is how you can claim. You go to vesting, you go to claim, and you go to submit transaction. But if they have the option, as far as I remember, I think they added the option. But if they didn't add the option, correct me if I'm wrong in the comments below, if you're aware of it already. Now, if you don't see the option, then this is what you need to do, like I showed you earlier. Go to extrinsics, go to vesting, and then click the claim, choose the claim option, and then sign the transaction. So yeah, every single parachain is different, and this is why it's important to keep an eye out on Twitter to make sure you're following the teams, to make sure you're not missing anything. And it can be painful, but it is what it is. At the end of the day, when you contributed to the crowd loan, you were aware that you had to stay up to date, right? Because if you don't stay up to date, then it can cause you problems with missing out your rewards. I don't think you can really miss out on your rewards, but it's better to be safe, right? It's better to be claiming things at the right time. They usually give you like weeks, right, in advance. They don't really tell you like 1 day or 2 days in advance. So you've got plenty of time to check those messages, even if you're on holiday, to be made aware of when something is going to list. And the other thing I wanted to talk about here, if you go to Altair here, for example, and you click on the network. Now, if you go to governance and you see democracy here, there's one option here. You could see that in 5 days and 14 hours, they're going to enable token transfers. Okay, so this is another thing to keep in mind here. So once token transfers are enabled, we've already claimed the air tokens, but token transfers are not enabled, which means we cannot claim the vested token. So we need to wait for this upgrade here, which is during 5 days and 14 hours. Once they win, if they win, and it looks like they will win, right? 47 votes here for the yes. 779,000 air have been locked up here in order to vote for this, and some people have been trolling. I've been thinking about trolling them myself and going all in there with a humongous vote here, because you can do that if you want to troll. You can choose the account, you can choose the full balance, and then here if you choose 6x voting balance, it does get locked up for 256 days, so it's a very costly troll. But it would mean that if you had, say, 50,000 tokens and used 6x voting power, it would mean that 300,000 tokens would be used as the voting power. So when you would vote for nay, sign the transaction, you would actually see 300,000 more tokens over here. So 302,456 air tokens would be in favor of the no vote, of the nay here. So it just shows you this is how it works. Now, should you not win, should the nay vote not win, then it's okay. You can claim them back right at the end of this referendum. But if the no vote does win, then you have to pay the price of the troll, which is to suffer the pain of not being able to do anything with your tokens for 256 days, right? So this is the downside of trolling. Now, if you don't care about it, if you just want to hold long term but you want to troll anyway, then you can do that, right? Of course, everyone's gonna badmouth you probably in the group, right, on Telegram and on Twitter to say, hey, why did you do that? Now we have to wait another 6 days or 7 days. But right, I'm just saying, this is the power of democracy, right? You can do that just like with real votes. Like it or not, it is possible, and it's awesome because it gives the freedom to the community. Again, the team, of course, do have a lot of voting power here because they likely have a lot of tokens. So, of course, they can use a lot of that voting power in their favor, right, to get the I vote. So they can manipulate the votes in some way, right? And not only them, but also the community. If there's some whale which has a high interest in a specific change, they can manipulate the vote. So just keep that in mind, that they could use 6x voting power and then you'll be wrecked. But if the community stands together against the whale, then even with less tokens, you could go against it and possibly win. Again, with the high lockup, unfortunately. But it is what it is, and it just shows you this is how democracy works in Polkadot and Kusama. That's been it from today's video. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye-bye.